Welcome to another episode, everyone. A Norteno clings to life on the level 4 prison yard in High Desert State Prison. Haven't had bad dealings with a Sureno that ignited a prison bloodbath. If you're not new to the channel, the inside story with me, Damian Porter, then you know that High Desert is the most violent prison in the state of California. It is a level 4 180, and we're going to call this individual here Happy. He's a Norteno, and he was always rather happy on the yard. Always had a smile on his face. Well, now I know why. Because Happy was always loaded off of that Beyonce, that down baby, that black Tizar. Now, this is rather shocking coming from a Norteno. If I'm being honest, I rarely, if ever, thinking about it, have seen a Norteno addicted to the Beyonce. Certainly, they will use it like anyone else. But for the most part, particularly there in High Desert State Prison, everyone is a soldier. Every car is on deck. Every car is extremely violent and political. And they disallow individuals to even use on the yard. The Surenos, some of them had their habits, and they were making money as well. But the Nortenos, they were so militant there in High Desert State Prison, where I never saw one that was loaded on the yard or in the day room. Perhaps their tenant dictated that they cannot even use on the yard. But Happy, for some reason, thought that he was the exception. Now, let me disabuse you of the notion now that only a particular group will use drugs there in prison. It is not exclusive to a particular group. Any group has been known in every group to have their individuals inside of the group that flouts the rules and the protocols and uses beyond their means. This oftentimes leads to heavy violence there on a level 4 180 prison yard, maximum security, where again, everything is so politically charged, everything is so separate, so racist, and gang infested. You must be on your P's and Q's or else. And Happy is on the yard and he's loaded. The Nortenos, it doesn't take them long to figure out that Happy has been hitting the yard loaded. And they are extremely agitated and perturbed. Nevertheless, they have love for Happy. He's a strong and a good individual. I like Happy. He was cool, mind his own business, and always had a smile on his face. He was always happy-go-lucky, which is, that too was rare for the Nortenos. They were always serious looking, had their weapons on them, and was ready to brutalize anyone that stepped out of line. I've seen many demonstrations from these individuals, and every single last one of them were vicious. Someone was left clinging to life when they were done. And Happy is out there, and they realize that something's not right with Happy. Not only is he getting loaded, but he's outside of his cell with this. Well, this is a no-no. If you're going to use narcotics in prison, and I would advise you not to do so, you had better do it inside of the privacy of your own cell, particularly favorably at nighttime when they close and lock all of the doors and no one can come and get you while you are intoxicated. You do not want to be walking around inside of the day room or out there on the yard in a maximum security prison loaded, because the chances for violence are high every single day. And in fact, there in High Desert State Prison, every single day, someone was getting, if we were not on lockdown, when we come off lockdown, someone else is getting viciously and bloodily removed from the yard for flouting a rule or a protocol. It is incessant, nonstop. You do not want to be on a yard, such a violent yard, without all of your whereabouts. You want to know exactly, you want to be lucid and cognizant at all times. But Happy perhaps thinks he's in Disneyland on a level 1 or level 2 yard. He's coming out to the yard. He's happy. He's playing with the Nortenos like horse playing. They don't do any of this sort of stuff, but he's loaded. Finally, you loaded. You coming out to the yard loaded? You done lost your mind. Now, normally, that is cause for removal right then and there. Nevertheless, though they were agitated and perturbed, they had love for Happy. And so they gave him a stern warning. Do not ever come out to the yard loaded again. In fact, do not even do any more narcotics. You are done. Now, I didn't know any of the Nortenos. I was dealing with this stuff in there. They were not my customers. I don't know any of them that were actually using. They may have been behind the scenes, but I don't know about it. This is how low key and quiet they were. They were just militant and military and taking care of business and did not take any prisoners whatsoever from themselves, their own people, or anyone else. Happy was dealing with a black individual at that time. I know exactly who he was. Happy began to not really pay his bill. And so the black individual had stopped dealing with him anyway. Now Happy is desperate. Understand the addiction to this stuff. It is extremely strong. Just telling someone that you cannot do this anymore and they are addicted to it, well, good luck. Even though he knows the rules and knows that he's putting himself in danger, apparently he feels like he can continue on and just be low key. I just will not come out to the yard loaded, just keep it inside of my cell. No one will be the wiser. Happy decides to start dealing with a Sureno. He just has to get his hands on it, and the blacks are no longer dealing with him. He certainly can't go to the Nortenos and get anything he's not supposed to be using anymore. So he hooks up with a Sureno and begins to get this stuff from him. Behind the Nortenos' back, somehow believing that they will never find out about this. Well, this was a miscalculation on Happy's part because it did not take long for word to filter back to the Nortenos that Happy was using yet again and dealing with a Sureno. Happy gets word that the Nortenos have found out about his betrayal and his dastardly deeds. He now knows that the Nortenos know that he's been using again. However they found out, I don't know. I'm not a Norteno. But they found out. They did their own investigation and concluded that not only was he using, but he was buying from a Sureno. Now, I know certainly for a fact that this is disallowed for the potential of violence between the two groups should something go wrong with one of these dealers. Everyone really deals with their own when it comes to this sort of stuff. They're on a level 4 yard. But Happy is desperate and he can't get it from his own people. So he's getting it from the Sureno, and the Sureno doesn't really know what's going on. He's dealing with them. Happy finds out that the Nortenos have got word, and now Happy goes to the Sureno and tells the Sureno in no uncertain terms, listen, if my people come holler at you and ask you if I've been dealing with you and buying anything from you, tell them no. Come to find out, Happy also owes the Sureno money. This is why the blacks stopped dealing with him. He hasn't been coming through. He's totally gone. He's totally addicted. And he's buying stuff and getting stuff and he can't pay for it anymore. Individuals who are addicted have a propensity to do this in prison. They have to stay high. They have to support their habit. Their body needs it. Their mind needs it. But they don't have the money. They have wine taste with Kool-Aid money because they ran out of money. So they end up buying and getting in debt. This happens all the time. And once you get in debt, you're in trouble. Nevertheless, the Sureno had not said anything, perhaps understanding the implications that if he takes this to the Nortenos, this can start a whole thing. So he's just waiting on Happy to pay the money. But now when Happy comes and tells him, do not say anything, he says, I can't do that. If your people, particularly the shot caller or whatever, if he asks me, if I've been dealing with you and I'm going to have to tell him, yeah, it's against my rules to lie to him in that sort of situation. Plus, you owe me money, and I want my money. So I'm going to let them know. Happy bucks up on the Sureno. He essentially gets rather tough, if you will. It tells the Sureno, homie, you better not say nothing. He basically threatened the Sureno. He's telling him, man, if my people come, you better not say anything. Once the Sureno told him that he's going to say something. This was rather shocking behavior. So the Sureno, yes, he let his people know what had happened or what have you. Turn Happy in to the Nortenos. Let it be known that this individual has been dealing with me. He owes me money and essentially threatened me for me not to say anything to you all, putting me and my people in a predicament. This individual needs to go. But they were already going to remove Happy from the yard because they had figured that he had been dealing with someone behind their backs. Now it has been confirmed and validated, and the die has been cast, and the decision has been made. Happy must go, and immediately. Personally, I was thinking they were going to take it easy on Happy because apparently it was clear they had a lot of love for this individual. So I was thinking they were not going to just pulverize him, but yet remove him from the yard. He may be bleeding, but not profusely. And boy, was I wrong. In fact, again, when I think back on it, they've never had a removal, regardless of who the individual was, that was not particularly violent and gruesome. It is as if they know no other way. They go 100% and that's it. Once the decision has been made, whoever the recipient of the violence is, they had it coming. And so perhaps their philosophy is we're not taking it light on anyone. I don't know, because I've never seen them do just a soft removal, if you will. They're always extremely vicious. And so we come out to the yard the very next day at the decision had been made. Individuals clearly designated to remove Happy from the yard. Everyone on the yard wants salacious content. So people are inquiring what's going on. It's tense. Nortenos are just saying, get out of the way. Every group lets every other group know that we're about to take care of business. Get out of the way. Stay away from this area, that area. So everyone knows now every group is focused on this one group who has put out the word that they are about to remove someone for whatever reason. That's what's going on here. The word is out. The Nortenos are up next. They are about to remove an individual from the yard. Some individuals know who it is, some don't. I did. It was Happy. And so my eyes are fixated on him, yes, for my own protection. I don't care what. It can be a ruse. It can be a ploy. Them saying that they're about to remove someone and the whole time they can attack us. I mean, just the way that I think. So my radar is up. I'm over there and I'm working out. I'm paying attention. And Happy is just walking around the yard and he's walking with just one Norteno. I'm thinking this is not the individual that's about to end Happy. They're going to send more than one individual at him. I've never seen a one-on-one for removal. It's going to be multiple individuals, multiple, at least 3 that come at you with weapons to remove you from the yard. They have backups. They want to make sure that this removal happens promptly and efficiently. I know that someone else is coming and lurking. I'm still looking and I'm just chilling and I'm paying attention. And Happy's walking around the yard and he's just a smiling and happy and a go-lucky, thinking that everything is just fine. Perhaps he was loaded even then. Shortly after, I see 3 Nortenos walking behind Happy and the individual that was walking with Happy. They're keeping a slight distance, but they began to gain speed as they're walking the track. I said, that's them right there. Here, go right here. I was right there. We were working out, me and the homie. And I hit it, bam, bam. Go right there. Here, go right here. Get ready. Like, get down. If you got a knife on you, get rid of it because they might search all of us, anything. If they kill a dude out here, this is why you alert everyone to what's going on. So if you're dirty or whatever, you can get rid of what you may have. It's just respect. So I'm letting the homie know in case he's not paying attention. Man, pay attention. You'll be over here working out, but pay attention. It's about to go up. So we watching. And then they get up on Happy. All 3 of them, when they get in striking distance, just like a lion in the wild who plays possum, stalks until they get in striking distance, and then they pounce. And this is what these 3 individuals did. They got close to Happy and then just ran the rest of the distance. And by the time Happy hears footsteps and all that, he turns around, but it's too late. All 3 are on him with swords, bone crushers, blickies, the burner, big knives. And they hitting them without mercy. They hit, the one individual hit Happy first right here in the chest area. Bam! He had on a white shirt. The shirt was red. He started leaking immediately, badly. I thought that hit right there was enough. I thought that he was done and cooked from that, but he wasn't. But he tried to run. Once he saw what was going on and he got hit, he tried to run. He got about 3 feet, and that was it. And they caught up to him, grabbed him, and was on him viciously, man. They was hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, and he tried to curl up, and he had his arms right there trying to like cover up his sides, his kidney and all that. He trying to cover up those organs and just get hit in the arms or whatever. He don't want to get hit on the inside, understandably. So he's curled up in a fetal position down there. Man, got his head covered. There's not much else he can do. They're just hitting him without mercy. I was thinking, damn, they doing Happy like this? Happy is one of their boys. Even my people telling me it doesn't matter. I hadn't been on the yard that long when this had transpired. And I'm thinking, they're going to have some kind of mercy on them. That's when I'm really getting a rude awakening about this prison system, particularly high desert, particularly these level 4 180 yards. They are vicious. They have no mercy. They are unforgiving. They don't care who you are. There's no love there and there's no love lost. If you violate, you are going to get violated. It does not matter who you are or who you think you are. It doesn't matter if they really do have love for you. And perhaps don't want to do it or don't want to do it in this way. They don't want to take your life and still will out of duty, out of commitment and loyalty to the codes that they live by. They're going to disallow anyone to come and flout these codes and get away with it when they've given their lives for this, regardless of who you are. I've learned that not the hard way. I learned it the easy way, really, just by watching others. and saying that if I get out of line here, the same thing is I'm going to suffer the same fate. It doesn't matter how much love my homies have for me. They may really have a lot of love for me and would never want to do this to me. Hit me all up in my chest and my neck and my face and send me off the yard leaking, clinging to life. They may really love me and not want to do this to me. But still be left with no choice. If I leave them no choice with my behavior, with how I comport myself here on this yard, and Happy lie down there when they finally stopped this vicious assault. That's only because the gun tower came out and he came out shooting, and he let it be known that if one more person swung the knife at him again, he was going to shoot. And I believed him because they were not letting up. And he was a bloody mess that he wasn't moving. There's no way he could be. He was not moving anymore. The whole yard is really silent. Everyone is down. Get down. Everybody's down. And silent. It's just a whole silence that came over the yard. We all just looking at, they stopped the assault finally, and Happy's down there. A lot of us knew him. We knew Happy. He's down. It's cold, man. He's down there. He's not moving. And there's blood everywhere. Yeah, we're all thinking, there goes Happy. He's done. He's dead. He looks like he's dead. The nurses come. They put him on a stretcher. He's still not moving. He's not moving. They done ripped his t-shirt off. They pumping him, all this stuff. Like, yeah, he's dead. That's it. They just killed Happy out here on the yard. He was just in good standing yesterday, and today he's dead. Like, for real. But he wasn't dead. He survived. Certainly, there's no way Happy was ever the same. I don't know what ended up happening to him after that. Clearly, he was transferred or whatever. He couldn't stay in that prison. But he was never, that's traumatizing. It doesn't matter who you are a human being, regardless of what some people may think. Whether it happens to you on the street or in prison, 3 individuals assaulting you with knives and doing serious permanent damage, nearly taking your life, is going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Probably every time you go lie down and go to sleep, you visualizing this, you thinking about it. You see the first dude coming at you, the first knife. You rethinking everything you did to put yourself in that situation. All of this stuff for the rest of your life. Period. So he's damaged, and a lot of individuals have been damaged on those yards. This is why I encourage, beseech, and implore individuals daily to stay free. Because nothing is worth your life. These politics some of them are sinful. They're shameful. And they're not worth our lives. They're just not. The real flex is being home, being free, and taking care of your family, taking care of your wife and your children. Providing and protecting for them. And protecting your brothers too, protecting your friends, your homies. But not on no gang stuff, necessarily. On some loyalty, this is my friend, and I have his back and I'll die for him. But not for some gang nonsense or some politics that are not worth it and that individuals don't abide by themselves. The individuals who came up with these rules and protocols flout them themselves. From day one, they were. So the objective then is to stay free, stay out of prison, and stay out of these situations. Because once you get in there, it doesn't matter who you are, how big you are, how tough you think you are, and you may really be tough. You may really be a strong individual, a killer, a real gangster. and still get your head took off. Because you're still dealing with a bunch of other killers and real gangsters. You're only one person, and they sending 4 of them at you, or 5, or 3. And they're just as vicious as you are. And they're coming after you with these weapons and with sinister intentions. You're in trouble. You can remedy all that now by locking in, checking your behavior at the door, understanding that it is not how it starts, but it's how it's finished. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. That matters. And oftentimes, these things start off looking good and seeming good and even being good. That's how it starts. But how does it end? How does this thing finish? Every situation I've seen, they all finish horrifically. Start well, but end bad. Oh, Happy. Shout out to Happy, man. Happy was a good individual, a strong individual, a good dude. He got addicted, which again is rare for the Norteno. I didn't see it in there. In high desert? No. No, sir. They were not getting high at all. I'm just telling you. It wasn't happening. They were not getting high. They were not getting drunk. Any of this stuff. They were out there working out in sections in unison. 500 burpees, 1,000 burpees, speaking a certain language. And they were militant minded. The way that they even walked the track, they had people in the front, people in the back, keeping lookout. So for Happy to do that, and then he was warned not to have dealings with other races dealing with this stuff, and in fact, just don't do this stuff at all, period. You're coming out your cell loaded. We have all rights to get you now. Give you a break, give you a pass, don't ever do that again. And then they find out that he's still doing this, and then dealing with a Sureno, and then essentially had threatened the Sureno. It was too much to bear for Happy. You're threatening a Sureno, you're dealing with other races, that could start a whole war. You're defying our order to cease with this type of behavior. You can't even use this stuff no more. You're still using it behind our backs. You're getting in debt. Man down. It was too much. You can't do it. They're going to get you. I know I went on and on about some more other stuff. My bad. All I can do is be me and speak from my heart. I care about my people and don't want to see y'all in that situation. When I say I'm talking about everybody. Nortenos, Surenos, black people, I don't want to see y'all in that place. It ain't worth it. Your life is more than that. Your life is better than that. You don't need that freaking prison. It's horrible. No one deserves that stuff, man. We have to do better. We have to think about this now, not when we get in there, not when we get into trouble, but think about it now, before, and make a better decision. Stay safe and stay free, people.